any workplace, laxity is a big no-no. So when supervisors or managers notice lethargy in their employees, their first recourse is usually disciplinary action. So laying your head on your table for what looks like a quick nap or unusual itchiness would hardly qualify as symptoms of fatigue. But these can be symptoms of extreme physical exertion causing fatigue. Consumption of copious amounts of alcohol can also cause fatigue, as alcohol dehydrates the body, draining it of sugars useful in keeping your energy levels.
Fatigue could be looked in two aspects. That normally this could just be an expression of having too much physical exertion. You do so much activity that your body physically gets tired. It could also be a sign of the fact that somebody is totally bored and you just feel tired. It could also be a sign of lack of sleep. The issue of even taking too much alcohol.
However, fatigue can be a symptom of a more serious physical or psychological ailment. For instance, in anemic people, or in the case of loss of large amounts of blood, cancer and other hormonal diseases like liver and kidney and diabetes, fatigue is often felt. But in the current urban setup, the long hours, tight deadlines and little sleep that a majority of the employed very often causes fatigue.
Then you get quite a number of people working, especially in the private sector, coming and presenting with fatigue as one of the early symptoms.
Fatigue of itself can be easily remedied, but prolonged fatigue can cause depression.
And depression, of course, is now a much more difficult thing to treat. Fatigue is much easier to manage. In fatigue, one of the recommendations is that you need to have adequate sleep. You need to really make sure first you rest your body.
According to labor laws in Kenya, 8 hours is the duration an employee is supposed to work in the public service. But in the private sector, this often isn't the case.
It should not be excessive. You don't expect somebody to work 8 a.m. and work right almost up to midnight and expect him to be there the next 8 a.m. Such a person is going to be fatigued sooner rather than later. So, one, they must have very clear schedules on the work that these people do, and that then they must break off and be engaged in other duties so that they have time to rest, they have time to have enough sleep. The other thing is to ensure that people take their leave days. They need to go and rest and have a holiday somewhere. This reduces the physical stress the bodies have.
According to doctors, a healthy work-life balance shouldn't be an ideal that a few people enjoy. It should be a necessity for everyone. Fatigue can only affect productivity in a workplace and the general health of a working nation. Zipporah Karani, KTN for Health Digest.